Danny, what are you thinking? Game time.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. Well, everyone, let's kick this off. We've got a fun Zoom session we are going to talk about today. And today's highlight, like you've read and signed up for, is all about one thing: the Reed's all exclusive Garmin Livescope bundle powered by a Dakota battery and a 93 SV, which is the best unit on the market right now by Garmin. So, number one, welcome to everybody. Thanks for joining us on today's Zoom. I'm joined today with Mr. Eric Nelson, Mr. Corey Brock, and Mr. Danny Thompson from afar. As you can see, the six of us, or three of us, excuse me, are well over 6 feet apart. So we apologize about the voices, but we want to make sure everybody's safe in all atmospheres. So today we're going to have a fun Zoom session. So Danny's going to kick in a lot on the tips of what we all need to set up and operate and adjust and really have fun with our live scopes on the water, both hard and soft. Corey's going to give us the run through on what the bundle entails, because there's a ton of stuff going on there. And Mr. Eric, I think Mr. Eric's got all the accessories that a guy or gal would want once they have the bundle. So without further ado, Danny, I think we should first start with the live scope, the big bang for the buck at $200 off with this rebate that Garmin launched today. So today it's $14.99. You got a $200 rebate available at reedsports.com, or you can call us during the Zoom too. The guys are answering phones at 800-346-0019. But there's a $200 rebate that launched today on Garmin's behalf. In addition, we've got the all-season bundle that Corey's going to talk about too. So, Danny, let's first go through live scope, and then let's give us the details on the 93. And then we'll let the two aces behind me jump in and take it away from there.
Yeah, guys. So, obviously Livescope, we've had it around here for a couple of years, and it's super exciting. It's such a great technology that we've got now. And really, talking about it for ice fishing and summer fishing, the great thing about Livescope is the fact that it's live. So we've got this crystal clear image, even better than we had with the old Panoptix, and it's live. So we're able to see the jig coming down. We're able to see the fish swimming in, and I'll show some screenshots. We're able to tell what kind of fish they are. And, this is really just kind of changed the game on fishing and ice fishing and summer fishing. And this is such a great technology. And of course, with the rebate going on right now, is a great time to purchase the Livescope. So such a great technology that we have. And of course, in the bundle and in the Reed's bundle, we are pairing this with our EchoMap 93. This head unit can do everything. I mean, we've got a 9-inch touchscreen. We've got some buttons on the side, very easy to use, extremely user-friendly. And the thing is just packed with features. The 93, like I said, 9-inch touchscreen. It's got all the maps for the whole United States, Great Lakes, and border waters built right into that head unit. Go over to Devil's Lake, the map is there. Lake of the Woods, Mille Lacs, every place you go down to Alabama, the maps are in that unit. That is a great feature that we have. The unit can do map recording, lots of stuff built into that EchoMap 93 that is paired with these Livescope bundles. So you've got a lot of stuff. And Reed's, which Corey's going to talk about, has kind of bundled this in to kind of make it available for you to use in the summer and the winter, which is kind of a cool thing. So, Corey, what's all included in your guys' bundle that you guys are putting together?
Yeah, thanks, Danny. So we're super excited. We've got, we came out with the kind of Reed's exclusive all-season 93 Livescope kit. So what I'm going to do is go through kind of what comes with that kit, because there's a lot of parts and pieces that come with that kit. So first of all, you're going to see it's going to come with, obviously, the 93 UHD. That unit is basically set up ready to go for summer. So, that's got the summer transducer in it, the GT54, which will have side imaging, down imaging, sonar, obviously GPS in the unit. So that is all of your parts and pieces to put on your boat and be ready for the summer. Kind of the second component in there is going to be the actual Livescope and the Livescope transducer, or Livescope and Livescope box. So this will come with your Livescope transducer, the black box, all your cables and parts and pieces there. It'll come with a summer mount for your trolling motor, or a summer transom mount bracket for it. So it's got everything ready for summer on that side. Winter portion, you've got the ice pole that it's coming with. So you're mounting your Livescope transducer to that ice pole, along with your extra large kit. So The 93 is going to be mounted into that extra large kit. Black box will get mounted into that extra large kit. So that'll be your bag and everything for the wintertime. We are also throwing in a second gimbal bracket, so you can leave your gimbal bracket, your bail mount on your boat. Second one will be in that extra large kit. So all you're doing is snapping that head out of your bracket, moving it from one or the other. The other neat piece that Garmin makes is a dual power cord. What the dual power cord does is basically allows you to power your black box along with the 93. So you can leave your power cord in your boat that comes with the 93. You can leave the power cord in your boat that comes with the black box. Use that dual power cord that's going to allow you to plug it in just with one, 2 plugs. How we power this is with a Dakota lithium battery. This is a 10 amp hour, 12 volt battery, along with a Dakota lithium charger. It's key to have the Dakota lithium charger because that'll charge this battery all the way to 100%. So that's all the parts and pieces that come in that all season kit. Kind of keeps you, on the water in the summer and on the ice in the winter. You got it all in one kit.
And anglers that are on the Zoom today, do note that we do have the chat function in the bottom right of your screen. So please shoot any questions throughout the video. We'll receive them all, and then we'll do a little Q&A session once we're done. But, Danny, I think the next topic you're going to hit on some of the settings that you want while you're on the ice. So some of those might answer some of the questions the anglers have with us today. But why don't you take it away, Danny, and talk through the Livescope settings, the gains, and all that fun stuff. And also, we can't forget about the update on your software itself, either, the 12.2 or 12.1.
Yep. So, to kind of talk about Livescope, now, one thing I'm going to say is when you get this thing set up and you get it put together, the stock settings are very good. So if you don't want to go in and you don't feel comfortable touching the settings, that's okay. You're going to get great pictures and all that kind of stuff out of there. But there are a few tweaks that we can do to the Livescope to make it even better and kind of give you that crystal clear image and, help ID fish and that kind of stuff. So, one of the first things that I like to do when I'm setting up a Livescope is I like to pick a different color scheme. Okay. And so if we were to be on the Livescope screen when, we're out on the water or whatnot, we're going to click on menu, and then we're going to click on sonar setup and then appearance. And if you're looking at the screen, you can follow along. But if you go and you do this later, it's very intuitive and very easy. So if you look at all the options, it'll make sense. Like you're going to click on appearance, and that's obviously where color scheme is going to be. It's our first option. Now, I like the black emerald background. Everybody, this is going to be a little bit different for every person because everybody's eyes see differently. I like the black emerald. It gives you a nice bright green image on a black background. Looks really good when we're out there ice fishing with a reflection off the snow and that kind of stuff. So I pick black emerald. It's the third option down. So that's the first thing that you can do is you can choose a different color scheme. Okay. So I think that kind of helps identify stuff. Now, this next thing is kind of a two-part deal, and it's the absolute most important to give you a good image and help you see stuff on Livescope. In my opinion, we're going to be on that Livescope screen again, like Corey is, and we're going to hit menu. We're going to hit sonar setup. We're going to hit appearance. And we're right back to where we were. But what we're going to do is there's something here called color gain. It's our second option. Okay. We're going to click on that color gain. When we're on default, we're somewhere in the 50s, 60s, somewhere in there. We're going to take that color gain. We're going to crank it all the way up to 100. So you can see Corey scrolling that all the way up to 100 right now. And what this does is it's just kind of like making all of the targets, all the stuff we're seeing very bright and reflective. And, when Corey goes back to the screen, it would make it look kind of cluttered almost. Like there's going to be a lot of stuff on there because we're making everything really bright and reflective. But what we're going to do is we're going to hit menu, and we're going to go to our regular gain. And we're going to take that off of default, and we're going to come down into the 60s. I like to be somewhere around 65. I've got mine at right now. And what we're doing is we've got all those targets bright and reflective and really sticking out, and we were able to take that gain and run it down a little bit. And so stuff is popping out. We're able to see it, but we're not having to run such a high gain. So we get a nice, pretty image with a nice black background if you're on that black emerald. And we're able to really kind of identify things, and it makes stuff stick out better. Those two things are probably, it seems simple, but it's one of the best things you can do to your live scope system to help you see fish and identify stuff and whatnot. So that's kind of the easy stuff, or the simple things to do. You do that, it's set. Now you're good to go basically every time you go fishing. Gain. Now I talk about this a little bit. So I said you're going to run it in the 60s. Every lake and every situation is going to be different. If we're really deep or we're really shallow, or we're in a lake with a lot of maybe algae, or we're in a lake with, nice crystal clear water, we can move that gain up and down a little bit. And we're going to want to, based on, if we're in dirty water and there's a lot of algae in there, you're going to get some of that staticky noise. You can turn that gain down a little bit. Or if we want to turn it up a little bit because we're looking for real small bait fish or something like that on bottom, we'll turn our gain up a little bit. So that's kind of those settings there. Now, to go along with gain, this kind of feeds into the next thing that I'm going to talk about as far as settings with tips and tricks and whatnot, is going to be your noise reject and your TVG. Okay, so when you go to the unit and you turn your noise reject on, you can run that noise reject, but remember, it's a filter, and kind of like your gain is kind of like a filter. And so every time you turn your noise reject really high, you're filtering a lot of stuff out. So you want to be able to try to run this on low. And for the most part, you shouldn't be getting a lot of noise unless you're fishing next to another person with a Panoptix or a live scope and they're pointing at each other. You definitely get some noise from that. But try to run your interference on low, try to run your TVG on low, and then the gain, try to run it obviously low, but high enough where you can see stuff. So, with that, don't be afraid to have a little bit of noise on your screen. So if you can take and you can put your noise reject on high, it's going to filter everything out. And you can turn your TVG so it filters everything out. And you can turn this gain all the way down, filters everything out. But you don't want to do that. You're not going to see the bait fish. You're not going to see those fish that are just barely coming into your cone angle, So you want to make sure you kind of have a happy medium of, you have some noise on the screen, but you can still see what you're looking at. So this is especially too with guys that get into shallow water where we're having a real small cone angle and some of that kind of stuff. Don't be afraid to have a little bit of noise on the screen. And so the other thing to kind of go along with that stuff is there's something called range. So that's going to be the distance that your live scope is looking out. That setting, it's simple as moving the plus and the minus keys on the head unit of the 93, zooming in and out. When you get into some of the shallow water, and I'm going to show some screenshots here in a little bit, when you're in 6 feet of water, 7 feet of water, you might only be able to see 6 feet out. You're not going to be able to see 100 feet out. That's where we're going to go to perspective mode. But the deeper you go, the farther you can see. So I get a lot of people that say, well, I can't see past 50 feet. Well, they might only be in 15 feet of water. So, you'll be able to tell when it starts to fade off, but that cone angle gets a lot smaller as you get shallower. That's for sure.
Hey, Danny, can you talk real quick about how the transducer head adjusts? When you go to perspective mode, what do I have to do on my screen? When I want to go from forward to down mode, do I have to do anything extra on my screen to make sure that shows up properly?
So there's a couple of things that I'm going to have you do. And Corey, if you could pick up the pole mount, kind of like you did last time, and kind of walk through this with me as I talk about it. And so he's got a pole mount. He's got a transducer on the bottom. So one key is mounting that transducer. So you're going to put that pole mount together completely like you're going to be using it. And you're going to mount the collar and that transducer on that pole mount so it's facing where that pole is pointed on top, okay? So if they're lined up perfectly, you know what you're looking at. That's step one. Step two is how you have that transducer kind of, the different clicks and angles that you can have like you're talking about, right? And so he's got it right now in what would be the forward mode, okay? That transducer is perfectly parallel with, let's say, the bottom of the ice when he puts it down through the hole right now. So we're able to look forward, backwards a little bit. That's your standard view that we're going to use. If he takes it and he clicks it down one, we're going to go into the down, or the other way, Corey technically, but if you go that way, now he's going to go into the down mode. So now that's where we're looking kind of straight down. That transducer has like sensors in it that can tell whether it's in the down mode or it's in the forward mode. So right now it knows it's in the down mode. It should automatically switch. Okay, should. And then there's also perspective mode, which we don't have a perspective mount on that one, but you guys definitely have them available as an accessory. We can put a perspective mount on there and it will basically be facing like that. When you do that, it should automatically detect that it's in perspective mode. Now, there are times that it doesn't. Sometimes the ice isn't always perfectly level. We got some snow, we got some different things. It's not auto detecting what mode it's in. We can go into our menu. We can go into setup, installation, and then orientation. So it's going to be set to auto when you guys get these things. And you can click on down or you can click on forward and automatically set it yourself. I've got mine in forward. So you can go in and do that manually. There's a lot, if you didn't catch what I said, you can come back and watch this. Otherwise, I think there's some good directions of it online too. But that's kind of the key with the transducer. Now, some guys in really shallow water, which I think you were kind of alluding to, is they might take and they might tip that transducer a little bit, kind of moving the power of the transducer or the focus of that transducer up and down, you know, based on shallow water, deep water, and some of that stuff. So you can kind of play with it a little bit, but just know that it does have automatic sensors in there. So if you turn it too much, you're going to actually switch modes.
Okay. Can you talk about the time bearing gain and how that's used for searching?
Yeah, so what that's going to do is if we're turning that kind of like off, let's say, right? You're going to get some of the, it's kind of that top part of the water column, essentially. Okay. And so I personally, the more stuff I can see on the screen, the better. So yeah, I'm not getting those perfectly beautiful, you know, images with the black background, but I'm going to be able to see some of those bait fish swimming through, which if I'm on Lake of the Woods and I'm looking for walleyes that are up high, your cone angle is narrow when you're up high. I want to see as much as I can, even in that top water column. So that is going to kind of filter out some of that stuff, or it's going to leave it on there. You know, like I said, that's one of those things I like to set it to low and pretty much leave it there. I don't ever really want to turn that off or on high or anything like that. You're going to want to have, you know, maybe clean it a little bit, but you don't want to completely run that up high and filter everything out. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the key with that one.
Okay. So a couple of things that we haven't really gone over are, so we all know what's included in the bundle. We've got a couple of things that are just here to make your life easier, right? Things that you can get that are just going to make life simpler. So here's the best example in my opinion. So this is the cord, the network cable that the Livescope comes with, right? So it plugs in, I believe here, and then this one plugs into the back of your 93 or your head unit, right? And this is the one that you want to use on your boat, right? So it's an extra connection here. You put this in your boat, you leave it, right? You unhook it from this and you just leave it attached to that bail mount. And then you get this little guy, right? So instead of being 5-6 feet long, whatever it is, you're a foot long. You don't have all that extra cable inside your unit that's just gumming everything up, making it more difficult to use. So check that one out. It is the, what is the name of that one? It is the Ethernet adapter, small female to large. So really nice thing there. Nice option there for you. Also, if you're heading up to Canada, you don't have a 94. The 93 is the US maps, 94 is the Canadian maps. Check out the new D3 Lakeview chip. Really nice maps on those. And then also the East chip, which is has our Minnesota and everything in it. It also does have the new Mille Lacs Lake. So Navionics just went through and did a remapping of Mille Lacs Lake. That is on there. Check that one out. If you're putting this, when you're putting this on your boat, you want a ram mount. Makes it super easy to be able to move it around, to be able to get the best view possible, so you don't have as much sun glare or anything on it. Your steering wheel is not in the middle of your screen. Really nice setup to grab a ram mount for that. We already talked about the perspective mount. We don't have any perspective mounts here right now, but we talked about that. Allows you to search for in shallower water, search shallower areas for longer. How a lot of people are using this is in the spring, they're using them on crappie beds, right? Or bluegill beds. So you can actually search in this area over here, and instead of this way, you're looking that way, and you can see the beds. It's more of it's just a totally different view. It's really cool. You can see some fish swimming across them. It's really cool. Also, the 0 degree mount. So the 0 degree mount makes it so you're looking straight down, because the mount that it comes with is an 8 degree mount to offset for the trolling motor head a little bit. So if you're in a fish house, have numerous people on it, or if you want to look straight down because you want to fish right next to yourself, like say you're in a single man hub early season, you want to fish right next to yourself, where this is, you're going to be able to see your line because it's straight down with the 0 degree, where the 8 degree is going to be off to the side a little bit. It's going to be hard. You're going to lose some stuff there. And then of course it does not come with the GT10 transducer. So if you wanted the puck style transducer to go along with it, it doesn't come with it, but you can get that separate with the adapter cable, which is the 12-pin female to 8-pin male adapter cable. You would also have to get one of those. So, and then the most important thing that so many people get, so these Dakota lithium batteries are on point. They're awesome. They're great batteries, like PO4 batteries, but it's only gonna last you between 5 and 7 hours, right? Depending on your settings, depending on how high you got your brightness, your lights and everything, they're gonna last you 5 to 7 hours. So it's not gonna give you a full day. What a lot of people are doing is they're getting 2, zip tie them together, run them in parallel, and you can charge them as one because it's now a 20 amp hour, 20 amp hour, 12 volt battery. A lot of people are getting that set up too, so be sure to check that out. Consider that when you're making your purchase. Getting that extra battery, the more amp hours for you to be able to run longer. So something else I really like personally that I now use for all my maps is and this doesn't even cost you nothing, this is just included, is the Active Captain app, right? And so it's so nice about this is, let's say I'm out at the resort, right? I'm talking to Corey here because he just likes hanging out at the resorts, talk to random people like me. Well, he says, hey, I was just out tonight. I caught fish off this point right here, right there, Templar Point. I was catching burbot in early March, man. I was crushing them out there. So I can just mark a waypoint of exactly where he was, sync my phone to my 93 SV, and now I'm able to get my waypoints from here to there, right? So, so really cool stuff. You can also update your unit with this. And if you don't have this, you would have to update via a SD card. Danny, can you talk a little bit more about updating and what the benefits are of that?
Yeah, so software updates are extremely important. We always do software updates for a reason. So we're adding a feature, we're adding some color palettes, or we're adding, Livescope when that came out. So it's always important to do software updates. And, right now I think we're at 14.2 on the EchoMap 93. So if you're not at that, go ahead and do the software update through Active Captain, like he said, or the other option, the option that I actually like to use is just Google Garmin Marine software updates. It's going to be the first option that pops up there. And you're going to click on the EchoMap option and it'll walk you right through all the steps to download that update to an SD card. And then you're going to take that update, put it into your 93 and do the software update. Like I said, it's not a bad thing to do software updates. It's not going to hurt the unit or anything like that. You want to be on the latest software because it's going to be a benefit to you. It's going to fix, bugs or different things. We increased scroll speed. That was an awesome update that we did for the ice fishermen a few years ago. We added a cool flasher screen. There's lots of great things that you can get from these software updates. So make sure you stay up to date on software. I tell the guys or my customers when I talk to them, try to do a software update once a year. There's going to be something out there once a year. So they're good to do. If you have the Active Captain app, it's going to prompt you right on there. It's going to tell you have a software update available for your unit. So make sure you get those software updates done.
And anglers too, do note that Garmin is one of the best manufacturers when it comes to product and service on the industry. So if you jot this down, 800-800-1420, that brings you right to Garmin. A live person answers your questions, can help as well. And this also leads to the next point too of chat on the messenger screen that you're looking at on your Zoom, so we can answer any questions you have between these two aces, and Danny, we can help you. But talking about burbot, now that's a good one. That's really a good one. So Danny, show us on your slide that you were out fishing last year. You've got those couple slides we talked about earlier where you can see those crappies and truly show the guys and gals on the Zoom today what the fish look like versus what the structure looks like. And we'll see if we see a crappie or a burbot.
Can you see my screen?
There we go.
All right. So I have got some slides here. Let me get onto the right screen. So I've got some slides here. A couple of these were customers that shared with me even that are pretty cool, and a couple of them that I have. It shows us a few things from these slides. So one, this first one that we're looking at, you can see this particular person actually prefers what's called the blue Livescope mode, I believe, and it's in night mode, which makes it really techy, but gives a nice dark background. The fish are red and bright and they stick out really nicely. And I've got a circle drawn around a fish there. And I think anybody would in Minnesota hopefully can easily identify that that is a crappie. So you can see the quality of image that Livescope is going to give you. Very cool. You can see we're in forward mode and we're in shallow water. So we're only in 6 feet of water. We're only looking forward 6 feet. We're only looking backwards about 3. If you look at the bottom, it almost looks like it's kind of a mucky, loamy type of bottom because it's not a really hard return. We've got a little bit of the yellow or neon green colors in there along with the reds, which is cool. You can see some of the other crappies that aren't perfectly laid out to get such a good image like that one. The other cool thing that is on this, you can see this image, this person has trails turned on, which is a cool feature. He's got trails turned on fast, so it leaves a little bit of a vapor trail behind the fish. So this is like an example of what you can expect with your Livescope. This is a real customer's image and what you're seeing. This next one, so this was a really cool deal. I think a lot of you guys, if you're into Livescope, you have definitely seen this YouTube video. And if you haven't, I highly recommend getting on YouTube and looking up Livescope muskie and watching Aaron Weeb from Uncut Angling, catching a muskie. This is a cool screenshot. So there's the muskie, there's the umbrella rig in its mouth. And if on the left-hand side, you can see a muskie, you can see the fork in his tail. That's the actual fish when it was on Livescope. He took a screenshot right before he caught it. So you can see the umbrella rig, you can see the swivel up above it. Very cool. This is something that, you know, he got on Livescope. This isn't some kind of, you know, image that was done up. I mean, this is really, really cool. I recommend checking out that video. I played a lot of times. So that's an image you can expect. You can easily identify that fish. Now this one here, I like this one because this is deeper water. So you can see we're looking a lot farther out. I think we're looking 28, 29 feet forward, about 10, 15 feet backwards. We're in 27 feet of water, 27.4. And there's a flooded tree. So you can see this flooded tree and you can see the crappies are just loaded up within that tree. There's probably some shad in there as well. You can see a little bit of noise on top. I think that's a good thing. You know, he's got his gain probably turned up enough where he's seeing a lot of that stuff. He can see the fish. Sure, he's getting a little bit of noise up top, but that's okay because he's going to see the shad when they're moving and see some crappies that are just outside the cone angle. So I love this image, and it kind of shows you a real expectation of what you can get from your Livescope, looking at some crappies there. And then this is another one. You guys have probably all seen this image, but that tree you can see just perfectly. It looks awesome. You've got the branches coming out from it. You can see the crappies swimming around it. Some of the bait fish around it as well. Now, if you dropped your jig down, you'd see it drop right to the fish. You can pull it away from the little ones, catch the big ones. So really some cool images, shows exactly kind of what you'll be getting out of the Livescope.
Well, that's fantastic stuff, Danny. One of the questions that just came up, we were talking about that, Danny, is two things. Corey's going to talk a little about batteries. And the other thing is, there was a question about, you know, hooking this up to your TV. And there's really no way we can hook a 93 up to the TV. But Corey's got the solution we put together with Danny's help called the Snow Bear Bundle.
Yeah, so I mean, we had a question come up looking to take a unit and put it onto a larger screen on a TV. I got some people that are doing it in snow bears. I've got some people that'll do it in fish houses. The 93 does not have any video out capability. It is a networkable unit, so you can network multiple units together, but it does not have the actual video out with it. Garmin does offer a couple units out there, 8600 series or 8610, the 1242. We actually have a 1242, what we call a 1242 Snow Bear kit. You know, and the difference with that, obviously, it's a 12-inch screen, but the big thing is it's got a HDMI cable out. So you can take your Livescope, plug it into your 1242, run a video cable out to, say, your larger TV in your fish house or your Snow Bear. You know, so that is one option, or a couple options, I should say, that you have for that video as well. you have any more questions maybe on that, certainly just give us a call, 800-346-0019. One of the other questions too that came across was on batteries. I know Nelson talked a little bit about taking and stacking, your Dakota batteries. That is one option. There are a few other options out there this year. It seems like everybody's kind of jumping into the lithium world too. So I mean, you've got Vexler that's got some batteries out there. You've got Markham that's got some batteries out there. You've got Norse that's making some batteries. We do have pretty much all of those options available in different sizes and everything else too. So another thing, if you have some battery, issues or anything, give us a call and we can figure out a different battery choice for you as well.
And circling back to one more question that was asked on the chat room was Garmin's 800 number. First is Reed's 800, Reed's 800, 800-346-0019, but Garmin's number is 800-800-1420, and they're open 5 days a week, I believe 8:30, 5:30, but they are awesome guys and gals who answer the phone, who can answer some of those techie questions if we, the Reed's team, can't figure it out as well. Corey, before we depart, I know, Danny, you might have one more thing you want to run through. Hey, Corey, will you give us a 30-second overview on what the bundle entails, just one more time, in case those guys or gals logged in late?
Yep. And again, the whole point of this is kind of the all-season exclusive kit that we do here at Reed's. And we're super excited about it with all the parts and components and pieces that it comes with. So I'm just going to run you through real quick again, kind of what that all-season kit comes with. For one, it's coming with obviously your 93 UHD SV. That's coming complete, basically set up for really summer. So, I mean, this unit in the box, you take it out of the box, it's ready to go for summer. Summer transducer, bail mount, power cords, everything you need. GT54 transducer, which does your side imaging, your down imaging, your sonar, and obviously the unit's got GPS. That is 100% complete for summer. What we kind of do is then we bundle your parts and pieces together. That second component kind of is your Livescope and your Livescope transducer. So a Livescope transducer, and obviously your black box. That's coming with all your parts and pieces and your cables to connect that to your 93 as well. That transducer will come with a trolling motor mount or a transom mount, so it's ready for your boat in the summer as well. And then obviously one of the other pieces that is part of that is your ice mount. So you're taking your Livescope transducer, mounting it to your pole. That's what you're using for your wintertime bundle. We also do throw in that second bail mount, so you can leave one bail mount in your boat. Other bail mount will go into your extra large kit. So that extra large kit is obviously where everything's mounting into. So you've got your extra large kit, extra bail mount, and also Garmin makes a really cool power cord. So this is also coming with that all season kit. Their power cord basically is it's a 2-in-1 power cord. So this is powering your black box through one plug, and then it's also powering the 93 through the second plug. One plug going to your battery, just red and black. So that's your dual power cord. It's also got your charging port on the back of it as well. Then to power this, like we were just talking about power, the kit's actually coming with a Dakota Lithium 12-volt 10-amp hour battery. So that 10-amp hour battery also will be coming with the charger. You really want to use the Dakota Lithium charger with it, because then it will charge that battery to 100% every time. But that is all the parts and pieces and components that kind of make up that Reed's exclusive all-season Livescope kit that we're super excited about. But it's a great way to use it in the summer and a great way to use it in the winter.
Danny, we had one of the questions that Eric's going to answer for this gentleman about recording his on-screen info on the 93 with the active captain.
So it's super easy. First thing you have to do to be able to record on your 93 SV is you have to download the app. Right, so you have to have the app on your phone. You have to pair your unit with your app, so it's actually going to register it as well. And so I was just over there looking at it. You have to set up Wi-Fi on it and stuff. It's super simple. And then once you have that set up, once you're paired and ready to go, it's as simple every time you want to use it as pushing the active captain, which is on the bottom right-hand corner there, and just turn it on. Like, that's as simple as it goes. And now what I've found is that you got to be under 6 miles an hour. Once you get going over 6 miles an hour, it starts to throw stuff off. And it doesn't create a very good map. And so you want to be under 6 miles an hour. And if you start going out on plane, like if you're just trolling around, whatever, it's fine. 6 miles an hour. Once you're going to move from spot to spot, you're going to want to go in there and turn it back off, because otherwise you're going to have a line across your depth, across your lake that you're not going to like. It's going to be hard to get that off. So super simple. As long as you're paired to the active captain app, you just go turn it on. Again, the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. and you're able to just put it on right there, stay under 6 miles an hour.
Awesome. Great detail, Eric. Thank you. One of the other questions we got to answer for everybody is you can use the Livescope bundle as we know it right here. It comes with the summer kit and also the pole mount kit that we're throwing in. The pole mount kit really can be used as truly a portable application over the side of the boat. But ideally, you take the Livescope and you check out Brew City 360s mount is one option. They retail for about $299. And the other one is the Summit mount that retails for a little less. The Brew City is really designed for a rail or a track system. And then the Summit kit, I believe, is universal as well. But those are the two that work really, really well with the Livescope kit as well. Hey, Danny, following up on another question gentleman had on there was regarding the pitch angle. Can you hit that for him, for Dennis?
I think he's asking about the angle on the collar for the Livescope transducer that comes with the summer kit. That's my guess. That's an 8-degree kind of pitch or angle. Just what it's doing is it's kind of canting that transducer just enough to maybe look over like the head of a trolling motor. And it also will help in eliminating the ghost tree in the summertime, where the 0-degree mount, you're going to get a little bit more of that ghost tree by chance if you use a 0-degree in the summertime for whatever reason. So I'm assuming that's what he's asking. It's about 8 degrees. So it's not a lot, but it's enough just to look around the head of the trolling motor.
Hey, Danny, also talk about the rubber coating was brought up by a question we had, what they've done to update that on the Livescope.
Yeah, so I'm assuming, what he's asking there is kind of the coating that's on the Livescope transducer itself, or the cables. It almost looks like there's 2 cables together going to the Livescope transducer. It's definitely, especially, we know here in Minnesota and in the upper Midwest that when things get cold, they will definitely break. I've seen a few guys that will take and instead of using like the Velcro strap that comes on the pole mount, or if they break one, they'll take a zip tie and zip tie it down really tight onto the pole mount. I highly, highly recommend you do not do that. I want you to use electric tape. Take black electric tape or whatever color, I guess, but use electric tape, go around the wires when you mount them to the pole mount, or when you're mounting it to a trolling motor or your Summit mount or something like that in the summertime, or the Brew City one, and use electric tape, not zip ties. That's number 1. Number 2, when you're switching that from forward to down, or you're switching it from forward to perspective, you need some slack. So make sure you leave some slack in that cable before you put your tape on and all that stuff. I've been guilty of this. Otherwise you go and you're pulling on those wires, and you want to, like, if there's anything you want to treat delicately or just, be cautious of, it's that wire, it's that cable coming out of that transducer. Be careful with that. I see a lot of guys throwing the Livescope, they leave the transducer. I do this on the pole mount and just throw the whole thing in the bottom of the sled. Don't throw your auger on top of that and cut into those wires. That's definitely where I see issues come with these Livescopes, is if they're, being used improperly and they're dropping augers on them or pulling on those wires or using zip ties. That will be a weak point if you're doing those things.
And so something you can do is this part just unscrews, right? So if you just unscrew this part, undo your stuff here, you can then take this, put it in your bag, so it's safe. And then when you get to your next spot, you can screw it back in and you're all set and ready to go. So that's another thing. If you're going to travel with it, try to travel with it in your bag or whatever setup you have. That's what this is for. So try to put it right here so that instead of just leaving it on the pole, right? So unscrew it from the whole pole if you're using this pole and put it in the bag.
That, and if you take some hockey tape and go around that cable, for the bottom 8 inches, that works really well too.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Any other questions out there that we can help with? You've got the best in the business, Mr. Brock, Mr. Thompson, Mr. Nelson. Glad to help in any way we can. And feel free to call us. We're here for you guys 7 days a week. The call center is open. 800-346-0019. Again, the $200 rebate kicks off today. That's why we're doing this reveal session. And the unit is the best deal ever. It's at $26.99 for the all-season bundle, less than $200 rebate, free shipping to your door. And you can also come into the store. We are open Wednesday through Sunday in Walker and Mille Lacs. We've got them in stock. It does not hurt to call. Let's put them on hold. We can also ship them, and we've got plenty of them in stock to help all of you on the water get ready for the season. So, Mr. Brock, Mr. Nelson, anything else we need to cover?
We're good.
Awesome. Danny, I think we're good on the reads end. If you want to throw out anything else.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing I would recommend is, we talked a lot about the GPS map and the Echo map. For the guys that want to put these in their snow bears and they want to put them in their ice castles and they want to go the Echo map route because it makes most sense for the summertime in the boat. These are networkable units. So, we buy this kit from Reed's, we get the 9-inch screen. You can also buy a 12-inch screen to go along with that 9, network them together. And now in your crankdown house, you have got a 12-inch screen as well as a 9-inch screen. We can buy network hubs and put as many as 393s into a crankdown house. So it's really cool having a GPS map and running that to our 60-inch TV. I definitely think that's cool. But if the Echo Maps makes most sense for you, that's an option too. But other than that, I mean, that kind of is the tips to Livescope. The great thing is, out of the box, it just works so well. So
awesome. Well, Danny, thank you for joining us today. And anglers that are on this call, again, feel free to call us 800-346-0019. Also, check us out on Facebook. We've got Reed's Family Outdoor Outfitters on Facebook. We're also starting a fishing page called Reed's Fishing that is launching soon. That's going to talk about winter and summer applications, all of the above. We've got some great co-op partners coming to play with us in that category. But again, thank you all for joining. We're here 24/7 to try to deliver the best service, price, and advice we can. And thank you for watching. Have a great day.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this live Zoom event that we filmed on November 16th, 2020. We really appreciate you guys watching. If you have any more questions or want to talk to anyone about this, give us a call, 800-346-0019. We also do have a video on our YouTube channel that talks about exactly how to put this whole thing together. So check it out in the link below. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe.